Yo, here we are, Bankroll 10 bedded up. Day 2 of the G-body, rear, mini tub, notch, narrow, frame bracing, stuff like that. Hopefully I can drown out this music in the background from the neighbors, but I'm gonna put a cross brace across the frame. You can see right there where I cleaned it up on both sides. I have the cross brace right here on the floor. So that tube is 1 5/8" OD, outside diameter. I went 48 inches overall, and I put a bend at 12 inches from each side. You can see the two bends in it. And I did that with just this manual hand bender that you can get Harbor Freight. So what I did is I bent it, put my center line in there on the center where these two little notches are. Boom, boom. Then I pumped it, and from the bottom of the cylinder mark here to this bottom right where underneath China, right there, 2 5/8. And there's a seam on the tube that you can see, so that way you can keep the bar level, square side to side. The car is level. So I'm gonna get ready. I'm gonna get that. I just fitted it. I just ground the sides a little bit, ground the frame. I fit it. I'm gonna put it up here. I gotta tie the drive shaft up because the drive shaft's in my way. But it's gonna go underneath. It's gonna clear this. So the bend about 12 inches over, about here, it's gonna clear underneath the exhaust. Then I can run all my other ties off of that. I'll be able to go right to the back of the control arm, mount, and weld the tube to this, so that way it doesn't bend under torque, stuff like that. But the car's getting mini tub, so I'm bracing it, frame bracing it. We don't want the car flexing, we don't want the quarters buckling, stuff like that. So before I cut the frame out, I want to get these braces in there. I'm gonna get the shock pockets cut out, you know, the spring pocket area like I was talking about. Get those cut out and get the cross brace in here before I cut the frame open, just so everything's supported, braced, tied together. If you put stands underneath the back of the car up on a lift, if you're on the floor and you got the jack underneath the car here and you got the car twisted up on an angle and you cut the frame out and then you weld back in, you're gonna cause a whole lot of problems for yourself. And you guys that keep jacking cars up here with the floor jack to fit a wheel on the back to see if it fits, you're jacking the car up on such an angle that you're bringing the rear end forward. And if the car has an anti-roll bar on the back of it and you're jacking it up here, you're putting all the weight and pressure on that other tire across on the anti-roll bar. And you could bend all that shit. So y'all need to realize what you're doing. Pay attention. Jack up the car from the back, underneath the back of the rear end. That's gonna lift the whole car up. It's gonna be set on its weight. When you take the wheel off and you're test fitting the other wheel on there, you're gonna be able to see where it clears, and it's gonna clear a lot easier, and you won't have to get into the front of the car. But by jacking it up here, you're twisting it all up sideways. So anyways, but yes, mini tubbing, notching and narrowing, that's what I'm doing. And let me get this bar up in there. I'll tack it up in there, or maybe weld it up in there, get these shock pockets cut out, and come right back to you. Back in a minute. All right, so got the brace in. Like I said, went ahead and fully welded it because I was in there. Pretty good weld since the frame's nothing but undercoat, and ground it off the best I could. As you can see, it clears the exhaust. Both sides welded. Got the area cut out where I want. I gotta do some more grinding on that side. This side, normally I don't leave this much on the top, but it's fine. It'll brace it up some more. But basically the bar is gonna go right in this area. Once you put that bar in, it's 42 inches. Keep it as close up there as you can. And you just run a level. Make sure it's level. Weld it in. All right, let me get that in. I'll be right back. Well, it's a day later. I'm back. But anyways, had some things I had to take care of. Welded that fully in. I'm pretty sure I showed that. I got the shock area cut out. I'll clean it up a little bit. And I got the crossbar in, which is the coilover cross member and the anti-roll cross member. And if you look, let's see, if you look at that weld, it's decent. This one split a little bit due to the undercoating, but it's still penetrated. You can see the heat ring. So got that all up in there. And now I'm about to do some more fabbing. So I think what I'm gonna do is, since I got those braces in there, the car's level, the car's square, that brace is in there. I think I'm going to get this tub area trimmed out and get this tub area trimmed out where I want it. And then I'm gonna cut this plate off, outer plate of the frame, so I'll mark it. It's got all this undercoating on it, which, like I said, I have the aftermarket plate to go on there, which is right here. So I'll set that up. I'll cut this out, set that up there. They make the plate fatter than this. And I've seen a lot of people take that plate and like overlap where they cut out. And then they put a nasty weld behind it or underneath of it. And then you can't get behind there. So I will cut the plate. I'll tack it up here and I'll cut it to fit inside where I cut. So it'll fit good in there. I'll leave a little gap so I can fill it, because I'll polish it off when it's done. It won't look like there's a weld. But like I said, with doing that, you leave you a gap and you fill the gap in. Now with a regular frame rail, when you cut this off, you got the rust and everything that's on the back side of it. So you want a little bit tighter of a gap when you weld it back together. And I know cutting it out with a cutoff wheel is rough because you can't really curve it. I do because I'm kind of a professional, surgical with it. Anyways, so I'll be able to fill it good with the new metal, because the new metal to the old metal, rolling it onto there, it'll fill it in pretty good. So that way when I polish it off to roll it like this, it's gonna look like the frame rail was never touched. And in the back, we'll have just that squared off area. So I'll cut right in front of here, back to where I want, and then I'll plate this. But when I plate this area in, which they don't give you that plate, and that plate is not made for 24s and bigger stuff like that, but I will put a piece of 3/16 plate back here that's gonna go across. And then whatever I gotta tap in here to fill in, because that piece stops. And then I'll do that on a little bit of an angle, but it should look good. But all right, y'all, I'm gonna get to this and be right back with you. It's a nasty, nasty job. Mini tubbing, notching in there. You see, I trimmed this one up, the tub wise. Obviously, when the tub goes in, the back part will touch here, and then the very back will go here, and it'll go with the wheel, stock outer. So, that side, look at the mess. This is very messy work, very nasty work. My arms are burning out because I don't wear sleeves. So this side, frame notch the back part of it. Of course, this is gonna be cleaned up some more to go up with this. Won't be perfect, but now I'll put a piece of 3/16 plate that'll go in here, and I'll take a piece of cardboard first. I'll make it fit this so that way I can weld right on the top, burn it right in, clean up all this. But it's probably still, the top needs to go back just a little bit. No sense in just cutting it for 24s. You know, cut it for 26s so that way later on, if you want to put 26s on it, put 26s on it. It's got a little angle to it, how the tub will fit in there, but I'll trim this up some more. But the tub will stop at the bottom, or at the top of the rubber mount, because the tub still stays part of the body and the frame stays part of the frame. You don't connect it unless it's a tube chassis car, or you reframe the whole back of the car without using bushings. Then you could weld it to, weld the tub to the frame. But This car is still gonna be separable, however you wanna say that. Put that piece of metal there to block all the grindings going into the car. It's not blocking 100% of it, but it's blocking the majority that could actually burn into the seats. Welding blankets are good, but they're expensive. Moving blankets suck because once you get a lot of sparks in one area on a moving blanket, like what's on the windshield of the colors over there, they actually catch fire. So gotta watch out for that. I started to cut here. I got the bottom cut, but I haven't cut the top because I have to undo the brackets that hold the fuel lines. So there's a bolt inside the frame up here, which you can see the back side of it right there. And then there's another one right in front of the control arm area. You see it right there. Take those off so you can move the lines in. Be careful pushing them in because you could kink them. If you kink it, you're gonna lose fuel flow to the front, but we'll just move them in a little bit. Then I'll do the outside cut first, just because I can't get to the back cut for the depth. And then this outer piece will come off because I already cut the bottom. Then I'll go back through and take the cutoff wheel in here and cut the top piece off. Stop it here. When the plate goes on, then what I'll do is I'll put a piece like this instead of it having a step, you know, instead of it being a step like that. Instead of it being, you know, a step, I'll put a piece of angle, or not a piece of angle, but I'll angle a piece across here, 2 inch by whatever, 4 inch. And then I'll put a little diamond in the bottom, a little diamond in the top to fill it in. Back here will be squared because you have to square this off because of how the frame rail curves and comes outwards. So this will be a right angle. Man, it is dirty, nasty work. I'm in here sweating. But that's where I'm at right now. We'll get back to it and I'll be back in a minute or so. Fade in, fade out. I'm back. All right, hold on. All right, and I'm back. I'm back. All right, so I'm not really a fan of UMI, but these plates right here were from UMI through Winter Circle, and they were $100 for the set. But like I'm saying, they never go far enough. So they have a patch piece that goes here, and they have a patch piece that goes back here. But for 26s, 24s, whatever, you gotta be as far back to the mount as you can go. But anyways, as you can see, these yellow lines represent where I need to trim it some more. So I need to make a gap right here. Like I keep saying, gotta have a gap to fill the gap so that way when you grind it to fit, grind it smooth and hide the weld. So this will still need to be rolled down a little bit. But I got it tacked in, I got it plumb, so that means up and down is level. This area right here, as you can see, I drew the line. I need to trim it, so now that I got it tacked in here, I'll just take the cutoff wheel and I'll cut this little area out because I want to be able to fill it with weld, and it lips over, so that way it'll be all filled with weld, and then when I file it down, it'll be smooth, you know what I'm saying? But it's square up and down. I gotta take a little bit off this bottom. But slowly but surely, trying to get this thing done. Mini tubbing, frame notching, rear end narrowing, coilovers. Like I said, that cross brace is in there. The plate, like I said, the plate is real flat right here, so I need to curve it with the frame. So as soon as I trim this bottom, I can push it in, tack it, push it in, tack it, push it in, tack it. I put it in a vise, put a little bit of a bend in it, but obviously I need to go all the way. So I'll get a couple more tacks up in here and I'll get it fitted. So that's where we're at right now, y'all. LSMC, trying to get it done and gone. So this will be like the second video, so this will be part 2. And yeah, all right, y'all. Maybe I'll be back, maybe it'll be the end, but all right. What up? All right, y'all. I went ahead and I put the plate in and fully welded it in. The plate comes up short, So I had to put this piece in, but nothing is cleaned up yet. I'm not gonna just show you guys it all done, cleaned up, and this and that. Showing you the whole process. Look, and you can look at the welds, see they're penetrated, they're in deep. Penetrated in deep. Did a little angle set up here. So I had to patch in a section. Oh, it's still hot. I had to patch in a section here to go, you know, straight back. And then I put this angle piece in. I put a triangle on the bottom and a triangle on the top. And I have this magnet right here. So I hold it with the magnet, set it up there, tack it in place. Ooh, let me shake it. But this rail is all in there. I just need to polish it up with the grinder, obviously in the soft wheel, and it will be ready. But that's it for me today because I am dying. It's hot, I'm sweating. Anyways, the plate itself stopped at this weld right here. So even though it comes to here, and this is a UMI plate, this ain't the cheap plate. These were $100 for this set. But as you can see in the back, you gotta square the back off like that. So this is a piece of 3/16, no, this piece of 1/8 inch I had in stock, obviously, and then I cut it to fit the top, welded it along there. I had to fill in this area back here because the frame tail was real thin, but the back part on the bottom is pretty strong. So another day, I'll get some more video. But that's it for this video. Stay tuned, keep watching, and you'll see how all this is done. Because I will show you everything. I will not leave anything out. Free game. Alright, y'all. There goes Tim. Kustoms. Appreciate y'all, and I'm out.